In Mississippi, 6 former law enforcement officers have pleaded guilty to federal charges after investigators say the white officers tortured 2 black men for hours, then tried to cover up the crime.
Your thoughts?
What?
Miguel Almaguer now with what the victims are telling us tonight.
Tonight, Eddie Parker and Michael Jenkins say justice can be served now that the 6 white Mississippi law enforcement officers who beat them for nearly 2 hours have entered guilty pleas.
I finally gave up. I knew how it was to give up. You know, it wasn't a surviving. It was a hoping I'll make it to the end.
Prosecutors in Mississippi say the officers tortured, used racial slurs, and sexually assaulted the 2 black men inside a Braxton home last January.
This is outrageous. Right to jail, right away.
Court documents reveal the officers, who called themselves the Goon Squad, broke down the door, beat, tased, and threatened to rape Parker and Jenkins while calling them the N-word and monkeys as they accused the men of sleeping with white women.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
They come in there to do what they wanted to do, which torture us, and they came to do what they did.
The 5 Rankin County Sheriff's deputies, Brett McAplin, Jeffrey Middleton, Christian Dedman, Hunter Elward, and Daniel Opdyke, were joined by Richland police officer Joshua Hartfield. The federal complaint says one officer put a gun in Jenkins' mouth, pulled the trigger, and nearly killed him.
What did I do? Are these, really officers? Do they do this? Why are they doing it to me?
Authorities say the officers tried to cover up their crime by planting a gun in the home and drugs on the victims after their so-called raid. The officers charged with several crimes, including civil rights violations and obstruction of justice.
In their minds, the law and the Constitution be damned. They became the criminals they swore to protect us from.
After their guilty plea to federal charges, the members of the so-called Goon Squad still face state charges and years behind bars.
You see? It's that bullshit we be talking about. Now, when black people pop up and say, the police do this, the police plant shit, they be bothering us for no reason. Motherfuckers pop up after they get arrested by the police and say, oh, they did X, Y, Z to me while they were arresting them. All you motherfuckers get on here and say, we need more evidence. Police wouldn't do something like that. Like, do you understand how often this bullshit had to be going on, especially in the past before there were cameras, body cameras, ballistics, DNA, shit to fucking prove that the person who's actually being abused by the police is telling the truth? You motherfuckers believe police like they're fucking, like it's Peter, Paul, and the Saints testifying. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. These motherfuckers lie more than anyone. They have an incentive to complete cases, whether or not they find the actual right person. That's more important to them. These motherfuckers get away with absolutely everything. You hear they planted a fucking gun, planted drugs? It's like a fucking Dave Chappelle skit. Sprinkle some crack on them, right? The fuck are you talking about? And then motherfuckers want to get up and tell me in my comments that shit like this don't happen. Really?
Shit like this happens regularly because people who don't like us hide behind their authority type figure job to exercise the fact that they want to abuse and hurt us.
Of course.
Now, I want to get on the fact that this shit happens and all black people do talk about it, but let's talk about the black people who flip this shit and use this as a victimhood thing or whatever, making the rest of us look crazy.
Right.
Look at these 2 black men and what they've been through. This man almost got his face shot off. For all those black people...
No, he did got his face shot off. He almost got his head blown off.
For all those black people who actually sit here and try to play victim like Jussie Smollett...
Exactly. I was just thinking that.
You need to stop. Y'all are making us look bad because guess what? This shit happens. Look at these 2 gentlemen. Look at them. Look at them.
Like...
Look at what happened to them. And then when they voice out their situation, they're looked down upon, they're frowned upon in society and their own community. Y'all need to stop. I'm coming after the truth needs to be shown and not shunned out of the fucking light. Like, y'all need to stop. Shit like this. This is somebody's son. This is somebody's fucking father. And y'all gonna take away their light and play victimhood as if you were a person who's been abused by police brutality when that shit didn't happen? Be truthful about that shit. Be truthful.
That's the goofy
because
part.
shit like this needs to stop. This shit gets hid and swept under the fucking rug. Y'all don't hear about it. Look at that boy who was found in a fucking mat, rolled up with no freaking intestines and stuff like that, like he was embalmed. We still haven't found out the fucking case for that. And that shit don't sit right still to this day for me.
Listen.
Like, are you serious?
Shit like this happens every single day.
I'm heated. Like,
and when motherfuckers be popping up, acting like something happened to you when nothing happened to you, that's what causes people to look at situations like this and say, were they telling the truth? Were they not?
Right.
And then we have to wait however long, because this obviously, if they're pleading guilty now, they were doing this case for a long time, and they finally got all the evidence together, and they had no choice.
January last year.
Yeah, they had no choice, and they had to plead guilty.
And it's funny how we didn't hear about this. It wasn't mainstream.
Right.
It wasn't
right.
nothing.
You didn't hear about this either, right? I just heard about this just now. Like, it's funny to me also because you never see the police plead guilty. You wonder why? Because they almost always get away with this shit.
Nothing was on their side.
Right. This was, you know how egregious what you as police have to have done to a citizen, a black citizen, for you to have no choice but to plead guilty, for the prosecutors to be like, we're not giving you no leeway, no nothing. We don't give a fuck about none of that. No, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. Y'all in here doing Abner Louima work? You touching grown men? What the fuck is wrong with these niggas? I don't understand what the fascination is when they want to do bad things to black people, that they want to touch motherfuckers. What's wrong with you? Make that shit make sense to me, you motherfucking pussies. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm glad they ended up. I'm glad that they actually did plead guilty. I'm glad that they're doing their time. But
they need to get 100 fucking years. But I wish you could get them the death penalty. The fuck you talking about? We should take you niggas out back and wheel the guillotine out from the 1700s. Take off the rust, we're using that bitch again. No way. You gotta go. That bullshit.
I can't.
I'm telling you, boy, ain't no fucking way. These motherfuckers, they're gonna be in protective custody for the rest of their fucking life. In jail.
Not a single word. Nothing was reported about this. I'm hearing about this now. Right. And this happened last year.
I mean, maybe I don't watch the news, right? But like, cause Jesus Christ. You know the reason why they were unable to get away with this, right? Is because son fucked up and shot bro. That's the reason why this didn't work out. Because they couldn't lie their way out of putting a gun in somebody's mouth. They could
and the reason for actually coming in.
Well, no, they could lie about that. They can lie about drugs being in there. They could lie and say they heard screaming. That's the problem with a lot of times how police report probable cause or exigent circumstances, because you need a warrant to go in my house. If there are exigent circumstances present, you do not need a warrant to go in my house. So if you come by my house, you want to go in there, you don't have a warrant, you can't go in. If you hear screaming inside, like someone's getting something done to them, you can kick the door down. You can go through the window. If it turns out later that there wasn't an exigent circumstance inside, that doesn't matter. Because if you reasonably believe that it was an exigent circumstance when you were outside the house, you can still go inside the house. You understand me? So now, once they lie their way in the house, they can then put the drugs in the house that we saw through the window. They could do anything, bro.
Why are you peeping through my window?
Again, that's weird. But you can do that. It's not illegal for the police to peep through your window. No, it's not. They can do that. So again, that's the problem, is that they lie their way in, and then they literally make the shit up as they go along, or they retroactively make it up after the fact. And they collude with each other to fuck with the paperwork and to make shit look like something that it isn't. This has happened on multiple occasions. You motherfuckers can get on Google and look at police getting caught planting shit on people and doing shit like that. It's not just that. They lie about the reason why they had to go in. They lie about what happened there. They lie about what happened after. It's ridiculous.
Can't they... Police can be forced off of people's properties because they're trespassing.
Of course, they're regular people.
So that's what I'm saying, like, if the police are peeping through the window, technically they're committing a crime, trespassing technically.
Yes, but...
So I find that kind of odd.
You're right. The police technically probably aren't allowed to be in your backyard type shit.
Yeah.
But you can come to someone's front yard and kind of sort of see what's in the window. Trust me, they'll make it sound like it makes fucking sense to them, right? And so That's the thing. They made this whole story up. The only reason they got caught is because the gun went off, and they could the ballistics and the medical examiner. They're not going to be able to explain away those facts. Why was the gun in his mouth? Why would you? For what reason? Right? Because they'll be able to tell there was a close range shot, that you didn't hit him from far and say he reached. No, because that's what they would say. But it's in his inside of his mouth. He'll have burn marks inside there, like flash burn marks from the muzzle of the gun, gunpowder residue. They will figure out that you put it in his mouth. So that's what got them caught. That's what got these motherfuckers caught. If he didn't get shot, they could make up anything. And when those guys report that they were assaulted with bedroom toys, yes, that happened. They can deny it, and they won't have any evidence to prove otherwise. And people will just believe the police, because that's what people always do. Believe the police. This shit is ridiculous. Not gonna lie to you. I don't really have much respect for the police. I don't give a fuck. I'm an attorney, and half the reason I became one is that the police couldn't fuck with me. You motherfuckers are ridiculous. Degenerates. I spit on you. Fuck out of here.
As you can tell, they're a form of gang members.
They are gang members. Look at them.
They're calling themselves goon squads. Like,
they're acting like gang members.
I understand the fact that when you begin to work at a corporation or whatever, your employees become quote unquote family. That's what the term that they use in every single job.
Fuck out of here,
because we work here more hours than we are at home, so on and so forth. But for you to sit here and try to exercise authority in the profession that you're in as if you're a gang member, that's ridiculous. You're supposed to be serving and protecting, not out here ganging up on people. You're supposed to be part of the community, talk to the community and interact with the community and so on and so forth.
What you mean?
Y'all don't do that anymore. Don't do that anymore.
Don't forget, the reason why they went after them is because they were sleeping with white women. The fuck is it, 1927? Get out of here, bro. What?
Like, seriously, there needs to be a form of changing things in the.
Nah. Just bring the guillotine.
No.
Just bring the fucking guillotine, nigga.
It's
over with.
Things need to change. A lot of things need to change, but y'all cops definitely need to change.
Stop that bullshit, son. That's ridiculous. No way.